hey, you know, this is whatever you want it to be. This is rock and roll. Rock and roll is meant to be sweaty and smelly. When it stops being sweaty and smelly, it's not rock and roll anymore. So then again, you have critics who are sitting up, who have nothing better to do than to sit and take pot shots at bands like ourselves. One day I would like to assemble a book. I would like to interview all rock stars and get them to give their personal opinions on the critics. That should make a very interesting reading, I think. You know? The essence of rock and roll is an attitude not to go out, or to go out and not be afraid to speak your mind, to do what you think is right for yourself. Rock and roll is aggression. That's another thing about rock and roll that disturbs me, is I see too many bands around now claiming to be rock and roll bands. Rock and roll has gotten very safe, very corporate. That's not what rock and roll is about to me. Rock and roll is about standing up there, and if something bothers you, you pull off your guitar and you smash it, you know, on the floor, you beat somebody over the head with it, you know, or whatever. It's a way to vent your frustrations.
What happened in Kavi?
We were on the way to Kavi, and I live in Southern California, where I live in the Old West, really. I live outside of Los Angeles, as you can probably tell here. You know, they call me the cowboy of Calabasas where I live. I thought a moose, I'd never seen a moose before, but I'm used to horses and things like that. And I thought that a moose was roughly the same size as a horse, and how wrong I was, because we were going down the street about 110 kilometers an hour, and 3 of them come running out across the road, and I was amazed. The thing was almost the size of an elephant. I'd never seen an animal that big. I mean, I've ridden an elephant before, and this thing was as tall as the elephant that I had ridden before. And I couldn't believe it. The thing come running across the girl, and she was terrified. There's a sheet, and I said, what's wrong? She says, a lot of people are killed up here every year because when the thing runs across the road, if a car hits it, it's like hitting a 600-pound brick wall at however fast you're going. So there's just flesh all over the street. Some belongs to the moose, some belongs to you. And I thought, I don't think I'd want to do that again. But I'll never forget it. I was sitting where the driver was on the other side, and I was on this side, and I saw this huge thing come running out, and it happened just within a split second. And I looked over, and there's this moose with his eye right in the window, like he's like trying to stick his, he was trying to stop us, what it was, and almost ran us off the road and killed us all. So I think from now on, we'll put up a moose catcher up in front of the vehicles that we have from now on. You have to be happy with yourself, because when you're alone at night after a show and you're looking at a mirror, and that's a very intimate type situation when there's no one else around. It's just you and yourself in that image, one-on-one. And there's no one around to pat you on the back to tell you how great you are. You better like what you see when you look in that mirror, and if you don't, then that's when all the demons start creeping into your head. And that's where rock and roll can be a potentially evil thing, because rock and roll is like the ocean. You can have a great time in it, but if you do not respect it, it will take your life. You've got to know where the edge is, but you have to be confident in yourself.
What or who do you love most?
Say that again?
What or who do you love most?
I sometimes wonder if I understand what that word means. Doing what we do, you become confused sometimes. You don't know what right from wrong is because there's so much going on around you. Doing what we do, 1 year of doing what we do for a living is equivalent to someone else's 5. It is literally life in the fast lane. You don't always have a chance to see things as clearly as some other people might. The only passions that I have, and I wouldn't use the word love, but the only passion that I have is probably my cars. I collect Jaguars, and that's really the only thing that, when I'm doing it, takes my mind off of what I do for a living.
I took a look at the Australian